Hey guys, it's Miss Sizemel, and today I'm going to show you how to do a really basic sort of quiz style game so that if things are checked or clicked, you can get points and it rewards you or whatever. So the first thing you're going to need is a new project. So I'm just going to call it Quiz Me. Quiz Me. We'll call it that. And I don't want the cat. And I'm going to need some buttons because I'm going to do a multiple choice quiz because that's the easiest kind to do. So I'm just going to insert some buttons as sprites. Now that I have my button, I can go to the costume for that button and put a letter on it because I'm going to do multiple choice. So we're going to do like A, B, C, and D. So I'm just going to put in a text and I'm going to put lowercase a because that's what I usually use. And I'm going to make it bigger and I'm going to center it inside of there. It doesn't quite look quite centered, so let's see if, let's move this guy down a bit and this guy down a bit and see if that's better. Yeah, that looks better and centered. And I can just duplicate it. And this time I'm going to change its name to B. Okay, so now that I have my buttons ready to go, that's pretty much the first thing you need is you need some buttons. You're going to need another kind of button to start the game, and you'll need another button to go next so that you can do that. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out two more buttons. Okay, so now I've got all of the buttons I need, which in this case is like 6 of them. So I'm going to actually move this down here and I'm going to move this over here. And now we have to work on our questions and changing our backgrounds. And that's how we're going to match up all of our stuff. So the first thing I'm going to need is a bunch of different backdrops. So I'm going to go click on the stage and I'm going to go to the backdrops and I'm going to add a bunch. So this first one is blank. I want to put my directions on there. Okay, so there's my directions, and now I'm going to go ahead and create another backdrop, and that's going to have my first question on it. And so the idea here is that I'm going to name this because it's question 1. I'm going to name it 1. I'm going to move the directions down here and change their name to be directions. And now I have one of my questions. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate it and put in a second question. So I have my question, but I need answer choices as well. So I'm going to put in my text, another text box. So now notice I've got 2 of them, and I can definitely swap back to my directions. And now I'm also going to need 2 more backdrops, one for win and one for lose. It doesn't really matter what they look like, but I'm going to need them. And notice I'm going to put them, whoops, on the bottom so that 1 and 2 are my questions and then my directions are here. Then I'm going to have a win and a lose. Okay, so there are all of my backgrounds, and I can switch back and forth between them here in a minute. And I also have all 6 of my buttons. So now all we're going to need is code to be able to switch between all the backgrounds. What I'm going to do is when the green flag is clicked, which is one of my main event handlers, I want it to immediately go back to the direction screen. So I'm going to make sure that I can set my backdrop to directions. So it will show directions when I hit the green flag.